Ladies and gentlemen, today I am brought in part by Wiki, and if you don't know him, I'm going to do a brief introduction here and then we're going to say hello. He is currently considered the strongest free-to-play player. This is his current power. He's actually higher power than me. I've spent $6,000 on the game, and we're going to ask him how he's managed to achieve this, as well as get some basic tips from him and get his opinion on how the game is for free-to-play. So without further ado, how are you doing today, Wiki Wolf?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming on to the, I would say stream, but it's sort of more of a video form today. I'm going to send you a couple questions here that I think people are going to want to know from the opportunity to talk to someone like yourself. First and foremost, I think the most important question for me is when it comes to hero selection, is there any reason why you went with Black Widow, or is this just personal preference?
Most personal It's most perfect present because I love the ult. I love the vanish. When I read the ult about she going invisible, I was like, I need to play this hero. And then it just turned out she was great.
Are you okay with your decision having played Black Widow? Would you redo it?
If I had the chance to put all my gear into another character, I would keep playing Black Widow.
Okay. So you would continue to play Black Widow. All right, so
yeah.
you're perfectly fine with that decision. And you showed me before, these are your temporary badges. These are the badges you're using for the Eternal event currently. How do you feel you're able to manage with the new updates coming? Keep in mind, one disclaimer I'll say for the people is WikiWolf is from the Omega flight server, so we're about 1 month free to play advantage. So basically people on the other servers should be, if they've been playing at the level you've at, and we'll get into how much effort you've had to put in a moment, but they should be able to get to where you're at in approximately a month. Would you say that's fair to say?
Well, at this kind of level, it's probably going to take a little bit more than a month. Because I actually had the advantage to do all the blitzes 5 times. No, what was it? 3 times every blitz?
That's true. We did have the 27 total blitzes. What if we remove the squad rank and we in particular talk about things like, let's say, costume gathering, Omega card gathering, things that people... I normally, when I'm seeing comments, and I'm sure you see the same thing, and you have a YouTube channel, correct?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, but I haven't really been uploading anything to it.
So what we'll do is we'll put that YouTube channel in the pinned comments. So if anyone wants to see a channel based upon a free-to-play Black Widow that's probably considered the best free-to-play player at the moment, feel free to click on that and subscribe to his channel. Quick plug for him there. So what we're going to do here is we're going to break down a little bit of all of the different pieces of gear he has, why he went with these choices, what in particular would be his top tips for people seeking to be as strong as he is in free to play, and then maybe on the way out the door, a couple mistakes that you have made as free to play. So the first thing I want to ask you here is, as considered the strongest free to play, you're not all the way 6-starred with your costumes. Is this where you're struggling the most, you feel like?
It's definitely a big struggle. Because first I was looking, if you look at my gun, I was looking for doing dodge right, but I never pulled any good dodge. So I just went with this yellow gun. But now I feel like everyone has so much accuracy that dodge is literally useless. It's a dead stat right now.
So you feel that perhaps defense could be better, as people aren't really building as much defense pierce, perhaps, because in Omega cards they're doing things like PvP decrease, PvP increase?
Yeah, I feel like there's a stat that people don't really think about. Upgrading is actually critical damage decrease.
Critical damage decrease, primarily on the gloves, correct? And special cards, I believe, can have it as well?
Special cards can have it, but not the regular ones. Hence why I don't have any.
And in particular, I believe you're talking about PvP for this type of stat, correct?
Yes, that's a PvP stat, in my opinion, from trying around with it.
Okay. And so when it comes to Omega cards in particular, what would you say are the Omega cards that you can try to find for a free-to-play player? What are the first ones you would recommend? I know there are going to be a lot of RNG and farming, and you use what you can use, but what was it that your strategy was when it came to Omega cards?
Go for all the crit ones. Try to get as many crit cards that's different to each other, and try to get total damage on them if you want to just be good overall. Try to get PvP damage increase if you want to be better in PvP.
Gotcha. So you're looking for PvP stats for the PvP and critical rate as it really transfers across everything, I'm assuming. Plus, you're Black Widow, so I'm assuming you're looking for more critical damage because from what I understand with Black Widow, you get 100% crit rate off your special as well.
Yeah, exactly. I get 100% more crit rate for one attack, and I also increases my damage by 20%. That's why if you look at my 2 bottom badges and that Maestro card, I was so lucky pulling. I have a lot of ultimate gauge recovery, except on my boots. I'm running a lot of stamina recovery there. Because I run the specialization where I throw a skill, it reduces my cooldown by 2.5 seconds.
I see. So you're spamming the ultimates to continually get the 100% critical rate, then that allows you to do the critical damage cards, so that way you can just keep stacking more damage and attack percentage, things like that. Would you follow this same strategy if you were playing different heroes, or would you change the way you built a little bit?
Oh, I would definitely change it. Like, this build is just a fun build I've been coming up with. That's just I'm trying to get 100% ultimate gauge recovery on Black Widow. Just because it's fun running around in a mega or seeing people chasing you, then you disappear, then you appear, then you disappear.
What would you say? I'm sorry I hit you with a lot of questions, but I know for sure there's going to be people in the comments that have a lot of questions they're going to wish I had asked. I'm trying to get as many of the helpful ones out as I can. What would you say your let's say 3 tips, let's try to pull 3 tips out of you that has helped you acquire resources as free to play? Let's say whether the things that you're primarily grinding, spending most of your time to do to try to get resources.
Well, the first thing is the most obvious one, is that you gotta level up all your ults. Like, there's no question about it.
All of them to 110 or all of them to 100 at least, you think?
100 at least, just so you get the... I don't think they added more badges for reaching other levels than 110 on other heroes.
Yeah, I don't remember any bonus side quests or anything at the end when you hit 110. I remember just hitting 110 and then kind of just being done. Yeah. So I think you're right about that 100. And that's, I'm assuming it has to do with the cores as well for you. Are you having problem getting cores?
Oh, it's funny that you talk about the cores. I was naive, so I tried to upgrade some cores to 6, but that's just a trap. Never do that.
Yep. So there's
so
one
I
of the...
lost a bunch of 5 cores, and as a free-to-play player, it's very hard to come across 5-star cores.
Yep, I'm gonna agree with you. And even spending money, I haven't got that many cores. I would say, due to the fact that you've played the game more than me in pure hours wise, I would say you might even have more cores, because I think I have less than 10 5-star cores at the moment. Like, I have a very few amount. They're few and far between. So that's probably the number one tip out of this. And we've said, I think you probably said this in other videos, I know I have, but be careful with crunching your cores, because the core system, like he's saying, is absolutely the biggest trap in this game. 10% chance for 6 stars, ridiculous. I don't think I would mind the 10% if it crunched either one of the 5-star cores or 0 of them and you just had to spend the resources, but getting rid of 2 of your 5-star cores is literally hilarious.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, one time I tried to get a critical core because I had too many defense cores. So I tried to roll 3 5-star defense cores, and it gave me another 5-star defense cores, and I just lost 2 cores.
Yeah, it literally just deletes them out of there, and it takes so many resources to try to crunch them up, which is where you can get things like, obviously, more red stars. So let me ask you about the costumes then, since this is the hardest part. Do you think there's any realistic aspect at all, now with transmutation, etc., where you can slowly build a regional set on anybody?
I feel like with this event, if you're trying to build a regional set, it is doable as a free-to-play player instead of just crafting it in the workbench area.
Okay, so it's not, because I've heard a lot of comments and a lot of people have been saying, like, it's completely impossible to do regional, like any tips or advice you're giving for regional doesn't work for free-to-play players. And I understand you have to build, like you're seeing yourself here, even in your position, you have to build non-regional. I'm wondering if in the year term, free-to-play players are not going to slowly be able to make it into the regional, because I don't think the game's going to shut down in 6 months. Like, I'm pretty sure this game's got at least a couple years into it, even if it continually, power creeps and people complain and bad PR and all that. Like, it's still got some time in it.
No, like I definitely have different regional pieces. Like if I could equip a full regional from different sets right now if I wanted to, but it's not gonna help me. I'm just trying to get those specific parts right now. I have Midgardia boots, I have 3 pair of boots, I have 3 helmets, 1 chest plate, but I'm still missing the gun.
Let me ask you this, and we'll go to your major mistakes next on the way out to wrap it up here. What would you say if you only have a small amount of time as a free-to-play casual player, let's say you play like an hour or 2 a day, what would you have them prioritize during their time on the game?
I will prioritize doing spec ups because there's no hindering in there. Everyone is in equal playfields. Try to get a group where you're all good together and you're boosting each other's up. So you're playing with an organized group and not with random pubs. Because that's where you're gonna get most of your high level gear or high grade gear to be able to upgrade your normal gear.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because special ops is something where my gap of knowledge is the largest. For as a well, I don't like to do special operations because costumes don't have as much value. I have more regional gear than I know what to do with. And my issue is primarily getting the costumes, really, and using them as fodder. So special ops is definitely something I would not have as much info about. So let me ask you this then. So if you're having them specialize special operations, I'm assuming things like blitzes, raids, etc., and the basic things, what are your largest mistakes? Like you've mentioned the core, so we know that for sure we don't want to be crunching 5-star cores. Is there any other things like that while you've been free to play where you thought, if I could do this again, definitely wouldn't have done that?
It's a very hard question, but I feel except from the cores, I would probably say the thing I did wrong was that I upgraded too much gear too fast, and I took my other character's gear, and I upgraded like good purple gear that had like the rolls I wanted, just to flutter up my other gear to make them stronger. And that made me lose a lot of value where the other gear pieces, if I just waited a little bit and got some other gear pieces, I could bring up multiple sets of the Juvelena Blow set right here, and I might get the perfect roll I want. Like I have a chest piece with 3 times accuracy on it right now, and that I could have been rolling that chest piece today if I didn't bring up this one.
I see. So effectively, your suggestion would be level things to 5-star that have the stats you want, so that way you can see what the stats are going to end up being, and then use the ones that rode poorly as fodder for the ones that rode well, if I'm understanding correctly?
Yeah, like if you have a good piece, like we say critical damage, and it rolled guard damage on the 4th stage, you unmark that, take away the luck mechanic, and you use that to upgrade your next one. Instead of being like, I have this many gear pieces, I can upgrade this now, but then I'm losing one of my other pieces that's also rolled good stats.
That makes sense.
When I get my other pieces, no, I still have guard damage. I got guard damage, and no, I don't have another try.
Okay.
Because we as free-to-play players don't like to re-roll our gear because it takes so long time to be able to re-roll our gear.
Yeah, like we're seeing here, it's not like you have a lot of 6-star gear just sitting there. So you got to do it smartly. That makes a lot more sense. Level the gear slowly up until you eventually got the right one. All right. Well, this video we're at about 14 minutes, so I think we got time for maybe one more tip or one more thing. Is there anything that you would like to say to other free-to-play players on the way out the door here, Wiki Wolf?
Yeah, don't expect to beat everyone in PvP. People spend money to be able to be the top dogs, and don't be mad because they spend a lot more money than you did. Because as me, I feel bad when I'm bullying people in Omega or when I kill too many people, but it's just a game. Sometimes you're gonna be the top dog, and sometimes the bigger whales are gonna be the top dog over you. It's just how it goes.
And for the people that aren't aware, we've fought each other in Dimension Duel randomly many times, and I have lost to you. Like, just so that people know, like, I've spent $6,000. And granted, we talked about this off camera beforehand. I'm not really like a super hardcore guy. I play fairly casual. I don't really do all the dailies. I only play when and what I want. But the fact that I can spend that kind of cheddar and lose to somebody, even admittedly, if I'm a worse player and you probably are playing significantly better than I am, just in terms of skill, it's very impressive that free to play can at least maintain, a decent competition. And I don't think we've even looked at really your rankings or anything, but you place fairly decent on rankings, correct?
Yeah, I think I'm top 40 in Omega War. I'm doing pretty bad in Dimensional Duel right now.
Oh, I mean, if you're getting top 50 as free to play on the Omega Flight server, you're doing pretty good. Yep, there he is, number 40 in Omega War. You're doing good, and we're competing against people of the likes like our boy Iron Man. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. There's the difference: 1 million power versus 1.5 fully nanoed. You can see the difference there. So go subscribe to Wiki Wolf. He's got a YouTube channel about Marvel Future Revolution. We'll leave that in the pinned comment. And thanks so much for your time. And there you go, everybody. Any last words?
No, it was fun doing the video with you, and it's fun talking to you in person and see how you are as a person.
Oh, it's just, we're people. We're all out here. We're dudes with cameras playing video games.
Heck yeah.
All right, everyone. Bye-bye.